Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale in Abuja. Tonight, we pause to honor the life and legacy of a statesman and a farmer at heart and a voice of reason in Nigeria's political journey, Chief Audu Ogbeh, who has passed in at the age of 78. His family confirms that he died peacefully on Saturday, the 9th of August, 2025, from his early days as Deputy Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly in the Second Republic to his stewardship as National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party between 2001 and 2005. Chief Ogbeh played politics without borders, bringing integrity and uncommon candor to national discourse. As Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development from 2015 to 2019, he championed food security and rural empowerment, leaving behind policies that shaped Nigeria's agricultural sector. A man who spoke truth to power even when it cost him. Chief Ogbeh's passing comes less than a month after the death of his friend and former principal, President Muhammadu Buhari. Nigeria mourns yet another elder whose voice, experience, and patriotism will be deeply missed. He's one that has answered our call on this program and on Channels Television. And a few weeks ago, he was a guest on this program. Let me remind you of that moment.
You see, there is no point dreaming of democracy if you have not built your economy. And you have not built your economy if you haven't fed your people. And let no theoretician from Harvard or Yale or Oxford preach anything negative to you. If your people can't feed well, don't ask them for loyalty. Don't ask them to appreciate the value of democracy. You are like inviting people to dinner, filling your own plate with choice meat and giving them empty plates. There's no way they'll be happy with you. The food problem.
Chief Audu Ogbeh, who died on Saturday. So let's tell you quickly the issue of Sowore and the Nigerian police and what we've seen over the past. His arrest. The Nigerian police force have confirmed that he was arrested. And Omoyele Sowore insisting the move was based on credible allegations of forgery, cyber stalking, and other offenses under investigation. The force PRO released a statement saying that Sowore's detention followed due process and constitutional safeguards, with the activists released on bail within the 48-hour window provided by law. A lot of civil society organizations and protesters have demanded for his release until he was let go on Friday. The police also stressed that Sowore is fully aware of the allegations against him and will appear in court in the coming days to answer to the charges, addressing viral claims that Sowore was tortured in custody. The police dismissed them as false and misleading, saying the bandage arm seen in circulated images was part of his personal belongings before his arrest. According to the force, two separate medical teams were dispatched to examine Sowore on the 7th and 8th of August, but he declined both offers. The police emphasized that his detention is backed by a valid court remand order and urged the media and civil society organizations to avoid sensationalism that could undermine public trust. They reaffirmed their commitment to human rights, the rule of law, and ensuring no one is above the law. So let's take you back to what happened over the last few days, precisely in a newly reinvigorated opposition platform, the ADC. So the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress in the 2023 election, Mr. Dumebi Kachiko, says he will contest the 2027 presidential election under the ADC. He addressed journalists in Abuja, where Mr. Kachiko says his aspiration is premised on the fact that he is eligible to contest for the presidential seat to contribute to the socio-economic and political development of the country. Mr. Kachiko, who is opposed to the ADC coalition formed by the likes of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, David Mark, Aregbe Shola, and the likes of Amechi, said that those who want to hijack the party through the back door, they won't be allowed, because he wants a free and fair contest. But he made a further allegation on this program on Friday, where he said there were forged documents that was presented in court to obtain an order of court. Let me remind everyone what he said precisely on this program.
There's absolutely nothing, no power that will stop me from contesting in the ADC primaries come next year. Absolutely no power whatsoever. The constitution of our party does not preclude me from contesting. I assure you guys that the people who have INEC's mission of Nwosu ab initio was based on a false premise. They obtained a fraudulent court judgment in the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, forging the signatures of some of the state chairmen, and entered into a consent judgment that proclaimed Nwosu as the chairman. And INEC touts that and says, oh, but there's this consent judgment from the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, and there's this arbitration also based on that consent judgment. That's why I came today to let Nigerians know this situation, that that consent judgment was fraudulently procured. That is,
and this was taken before the court.
Before the court.
So let's get it clear.
Yeah.
So you claiming now that there are state chairmen of the party whose signatures were obtained, and you're saying that those were fraudulently obtained.
Correct, yes.
And that's criminal, are you aware?
Absolutely criminal.
And these allegations you are making
are
against this kind of persons.
I am telling you that it's actually unbelievable the extent they went. So in order to use the ADC.
All right then. Mr. Dumebi Kachuku on this program on Friday. So are these allegations true? There are a few of those people who says his allegations, their signatures were forged, were brought on this program, and they claim that their signatures were forged. And there are other claims made by Mr. Dumebi Kachuku. But tonight, let's get some clarity and some explanation, of course, some response to some of those allegations. Some of them are weighty. I'm being joined by ADC and the opposition platform spokesperson. Madam Bolaji Abdullah is live for us on the program tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
There are heavy allegations made against the opposition coalition, saying forgery, pretense, a lot of allegations made, and that some of these pretenses were presented before the court. Are you aware?
Am I aware of what?
Of those allegations and the circumstances surrounding those court documents.
Well, I listened to Mr. Kachuku on your program last Friday, I think, where he made those allegations. And I'm glad you pointed it out to him, that what he was alleging were crimes. When you uncover crime, what do? You don't call a press conference. As a citizen, you have a duty to stop crime. So when you uncover crime, you report to the nearest police station and ensure that the alleged criminal is arrested and prosecuted accordingly. So if he is actually in possession of evidence that crimes were committed, why is he calling press conferences? Why is he going around media houses? Why didn't he just go to the police and report that signatures were forged or documents were forged and obtained fraudulently? So, the matter of this individual is becoming worrisome, because it's obvious there is no limit to how far he's willing to go to carry out the assignment that he has been given. So, but I'm here this evening with people who were part of the process from the start, members of the party from the start, who have dealt with him, who know the kind of individual he is, and who are in a position to debunk the specific allegation regarding the issue of forgery or not. But he made other allegations.
Yeah, the heavy allegations. Yeah. I like, before we bring some of the leaders of the party who are in the studio with us here, Let's touch on some of the issues that were raised as to some of the intentions, the allegations of the intentions to de-ethnicize and delegitimize the process and also hijack the ADC through the back door, which he says some of you are involved in. Why does it look, according to him, a militarization and a hijack of the party?
Who is in a position today to claim that he has been hijacked or his office has been hijacked? The occupier of the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody should be claiming that he has been hijacked or his office has been hijacked, it should be Ralph Nwosu, not a presidential candidate in the last election, who, by the way, has been expelled from the party. So you'll expect that the people who are occupying those positions were the ones that will come out to say our positions have been hijacked. So if those people who are recognized as occupants of those occupiers of those positions are not making those allegations, are not making those claims, then what is the basis for his own argument? What is the basis for the claims and the allegations?
Why does it look like some of the leaders of the opposition forces who have gone into the ADC didn't do their homework properly?
What do you mean?
Because it is not only Dumebe Kachiku. I had a conversation with Honorable Leke Abejide, who is the only elected National Assembly member of the ADC, who says he was not consulted. And it does look, according to him, he even said he's the landlord.
Landlord of where?
Of the ADC, as the only elected National Assembly member. And he has been funding, helping, and winning elections back-to-back with the party. So are there no consultations? What really happened? Why does it look like people were not carried along and a lot of people felt aggrieved by the process of coming into the party?
There are not a lot of people who feel aggrieved. There are individuals who are coming forward to say that they are aggrieved. But are these people really aggrieved? You see, we've maintained consistently that what you are seeing is a continuation of the same process that led to the destabilization of other opposition political parties. When we started the process, everybody knew in this country that the coalition was coming up. These individuals did not come forward because the people who are now behind what they are doing felt it was not going to work. Then the moment we announced the coalition and they saw that it was actually going to be successful, then they started crawling out of their
So the reason why I asked the question is that there are not so much of people in ADC, for example, as even compared to SDP, where you have more elected people, and perhaps SDP even has a longer history than the ADC. ADC is just about 20 years back in history. But you look at it, there's only one elected National Assembly member. There's only one 2023 presidential candidate. And these are just a few people. I mean, these are just people that you could have consulted outside of Mr. Nwosu, who is now being seen as a renegade who sold out the party.
No, not at all. You see, it's not about Mr. Nwosu. It's about the entire leadership of the party. Not only the executive of the party, but the board of trustees and every single person that has a constitutional role to play in the party. A candidate of the party does not have a constitutional role to play in the party. An elected officer of the party does not have a constitutional role to play in the party. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But above the
every single person
is a political process.
It's a political process.
I'm saying that in your consultation in going into the party, there are the constitutional part, the legal aspect of it, and there are the political part of it. In running for office, there are political things that you must do, which could even tower above the legal and constitutional part.
I can tell you.
Smear
I can tell
mar your legal process. So the question is, there's only one elected National Assembly member. Why is that kind of person not consulted? Why is the presidential candidate in the last election not consulted?
Why is this individual, the elected officer, why is he coming forward now at this time to say he was not consulted?
Were they consulted?
What I'm saying is that the people who ought to have been consulted were consulted, and I brought my colleagues.
And they were not there.
No, they were not there. I don't.
Why weren't they consulted?
Maybe especially the presidential candidate had been expelled from the party. I've repeated it. The last time I was here, I told you that he was expelled from the party in 2022.
The fact, someone couldn't have been expelled and still run for election and be registered by INEC.
The last time I came here, we had this conversation, and I said he was elected, and you pointed it out to me that but how could he have the same question you're asking? And the clarification, I sought clarification. What happened was that at the time of his expulsion, it was too late to substitute his name in INEC. And that was why he still ran as a candidate of the party. Do you understand what I'm saying? But he had been expelled before then.
Something must be wrong with that party. You know why, sir? Kingsley Moghalu ran in that primary.
Yes.
And Dumebi defeated Kingsley Moghalu.
Yeah.
And so if at the moment where Kingsley, Dumebi, Kachiku, they screened all of those who ran for that primary, is at that point of screening that they could have dropped him if it was
No, but it depends on what you did afterwards. We know what happens. We know people who come out to say they want to run election. But in the end, what do? They go and sell out to other parties. So if your party at a particular time realize that you have behaved in a way that is contrary, that jeopardizes the interest of the party, what do? They punish you according to the rules of the party.
But are you worried about some of these confluence of ideas that is against the intentions of the Amechis of the world, yourself? I mean, you're an experienced politician. You've been in PDP, you've been in APC, you've been a former commissioner, you've been a former minister.
Yes.
And so you understand what these political maneuverings could be for the future of what you're working on. It could jeopardize. Are you worried about it?
No, not at all.
How? All of these people?
No.
Honorable Abidjide is in court. Maybe he's in court.
It does not worry us in any way because they were envisaged. How? What drove the coalition in the first place was the destabilization of other opposition political parties. We would be naive to think that we will come on board and the same people, the same hands that destabilize those parties will allow us to settle down and be in a position to challenge them for power in 2027. But the mistake they made was that they did not bank on the fact that we will do our due diligence and every single thing we needed to do legally, we will do it. So they can bring all these individuals. I don't know what agreements or arrangement they have with them, but I can tell you that they are wasting their time. Because this ADC, this coalition, we did everything that was necessary.
Mr. Abdullahi, and I've seen a portion of the ADC constitution. I don't know if you have studied it. You cannot, and it's enshrined in that constitution, you cannot lead the party only after you've joined the party after 2 years.
No. That has been amended.
It has been amended.
It has been amended. Two key amendment points. One, that you cannot occupy a position in the party until 2 years after you have joined. That has been amended. Two, that when an officer of the party resigns, then he can only be replaced by an officer from his zone or her zone. That has also been amended. Look, we're not joking here.
You've done your homework. You've tidied up the loose ends.
This took time. You cannot have the caliber of people in this coalition, and you will expect that they will just leave. I mean, it's only God that's perfect, right? But everything that was humanly possible, because we knew the battle that was facing us. We knew that the government will do everything to destabilize this.
So you think governments are backing Dumebi and Abidjide? Honorable Abidjide?
Why else are they doing what they are doing? Why else are they doing
that could only be the reason? They say they are fighting for the turf where you met.
Okay, let me tell you something. Dumebi kept saying something that's even more dangerous than this issue of party,
ADC
leadership and all that. He came here, sat on this seat, and said the coalition was part or is part of the northern conspiracy against the South. That whenever you have a southerner in position, then you find the northern elite, political elite, will rally and try to stop him. Because in the minds of the northern elite, a southerner could only be allowed to be in position of power for 4 years. Shehu, I'm sorry. I expected you, when he was saying that, to caution him. Because that kind of divisive language is dangerous. And a demagogue like him shouldn't be allowed to get away with that kind of narrative. He came here. You see, my concern is beyond politics. We have a country to build. But when an individual come and begin to promote this we versus them rhetoric, it is dangerous. There are younger people watching who would believe him and think that that's the way Nigeria is. I saw you brought in Alhaji Sule Lamido. And the moment Sule Lamido said he was going to support President Goodluck Jonathan if he runs on PDP, and the only thing that this guy could say to that is, oh, they are bringing PDP as part of the northern, what is it called, conspiracy. You know,
Malam Abdullahi, there are crazy things that have happened in this country. Sorry to use the word crazy. In the life of me, and you, as you have probably observed when you practice actively as a journalist, is that there are some things that look like rumors, that look like fiction.
Yeah, fiction,
that you think that will never happen, but has happened in this country.
Yes.
And when people express their feelings out of emotion, sometimes what worries me is whether or not the political elite are learning any lesson. If there is anything that is religious and ethnic in nature that could divide our country, and such a young man has raised it and said, this should not happen, are you taking cognizance of that and exposing those kind of possibility in our polity to ensure that those kind of things does not happen? Are you being sensitive to such a thing?
If it were true. If it were true.
Is the ADC being used for such a thing?
Hang on a second. Sometimes I wonder if something is wrong somewhere. He said he lived in Kano. Maybe something happened back in Kano that traumatized him and that made him to be promoting this kind of thing. I did a little bit of research. He said when President Buhari was in office, no northerner criticized him, that they all kept quiet and allow President Buhari to run for 8 years. Then President Tinubu is there now, then they are suddenly criticizing him. In July 2016, Dr. Junai Mohammed said he accused Buhari of the worst form of nepotism in Nigeria's history. Dr. Junai Mohammed is alive. In December 2024, Senator Shehu Sani, he said nepotism under Buhari was what he criticized silence on insecurity and failure of northern leaders to speak up. In September 2021, Dr. Obadia Mailafia, northerner, also warned that a Fulanization agenda was on under Buhari and said insecurity was worse than under Abacha. Tanko Yakasai, April 2021, said he called Buhari too lazy to solve Nigeria's problem. Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, he said he wrote a March 2017, he wrote a memo to Buhari and said he was surrounded by selfish and incompetent aides. And he later said that there is a parallel government within the government. You remember? Yeah. In February 2019, Buba Galadima, he said APC government is bedeviled by corruption under Buhari. Then in June, he called Buhari the greatest fraud this year. He's called Buhari the greatest fraud ever. Colonel Dangiwa Umar, May 2020, he warned that the lopsided appointment could destroy Nigeria. So I can go on and on. These are examples of people who spoke up when Buhari was in power. How did this person that you called a young man come to the conclusion that when Buhari was in power, nobody said anything? No northerner criticized.
Is the ADC going to be conscious of this kind of possibility so that our country will not further be divided in this kind of politics?
You see, that is why I am disturbed. You see, on this your program, one member of the government came here and he profiled Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He said an 80-year-old northern Muslim. In another country, he would have been arrested. You see, we think that you can just say whatever you like. There are some things you are not allowed to say. And the promotion of division in this country should not be allowed under whatever guise. Now, coming back to the question you asked me, you are saying that a John Oyegun, a leading member of the coalition, is in the coalition to promote Northern agenda. Professor Osunbo, the former governor of Edo State as well, is here in this coalition to promote Northern agenda. Emeka Ihedioha, former deputy speaker from Imo, is also here to promote Northern agenda. Senator Akobundu is also here. Ben Obi, they are all here. All these people somehow have been hypnotized. Raufo Aregbesola, they have somehow, Peter Obi, they have all been hypnotized somehow and enlisted to be part of the Northern agenda. You see, it's ridiculous to say the least, and he should be ashamed of himself. Because we have younger people.
So you are guaranteeing Nigeria that ADC is for a true change?
ADC is a party, and we said it from day one, is neither a party of the North nor of the South. It's neither a party of Muslim nor of Christian. It's neither a party of old people or so it's a party that is deliberately designed to be the party that is able to provide, build the kind of future that Nigeria desires.
Let's bring in some of the leaders of the party here.
By the way, where did President Asiwaju get the vote that he won the election with in 2000?
He got he got over 2 million votes in the Northwest. He got over 1 million votes in the North Central. He got in the Northeast, he got over about 2 million votes also.
So it's the same North that he's talking about. Look,
let's bring in quickly the gentleman who, by the way, the claims are that the alleged hijack. Please come to us this side. The alleged hijack of the party. Good evening, gentlemen. On Friday, there are allegations that there were no consultation with the leadership, and some chairmen, about 4 or 5 of them, came here and said they were not aware about the emergence of David Mark, Aregbesola, and the rest coming into. Are you aware, sir? Were you consulted about the handing over of the party to David Mark and the rest?
There was no handing over. I think your choice of words may be problematic to me. What happened is a process that took about 18 months. It started with low-level negotiations. I was, at that time, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of ADC. I participated actively in these negotiations over these months. And we agreed to follow the constitution of the party and followed all laid down procedure that is necessary in order that we open up the party so that people can come in and be able to register and become members of the party. And also, when the time comes, also aspire to party positions, whether in their wards, in their local government, states, or at the national level. And also be able to lay the foundation for a proper, fair and free, transparent, primaries that will produce a candidate at the end of the day.
Would you say there was a proper consultation across the states?
Yeah, there were proper consultations, but you need to understand where we're coming from. As at the time we started negotiations, there were about 10 or so chairmen of the parties who were with Demobi that have taken the party to the courts. And there was a case at the Supreme Court. He, of course, was one of those 10 chairmen.
So there were factionalization. There is an existing factionalization. There's a division of some sort.
Not quite. Let me give you a
because I understand
background.
that there are some chairmen who are with Dumebi Kachiko.
Yes. Can I give you the background now?
No, we may not have all of the time.
Okay. So
just a moment, sir. The crux of the matter here is whether or not there is an issue of forgery. The crux of the matter is whether or not there was a true consultation in the party.
Okay, fine. So I want to state clearly that the issue of forgery is not true. And like he said, if there is any such case, he should go to the right.
Were you privy to the court process?
Of course I was.
Were you part of the processes that
yes,
that led to the submission of the document?
Of course. As a matter of fact, it was the Independent National Electoral Commission that brokered the ADR that made those chairmen that took the party to Supreme Court to withdraw the case on their own request to INEC. And at the end of the day, two things were agreed. One, they withdraw the case from the Supreme Court, and then the party reinstate them to their former position. And we have achieved that.
Just a moment. Give me a moment, sir. Let me speak to you. You're a party chairman, isn't it? The state chairman.
Yes, I'm a chairman from Kogi State.
From Kogi State.
I'm also the forum chairman.
Okay. Oh, you are the yes, chairman of all chairmen.
I'm chairman.
A powerful man. You should actually give you a chair. What happened? Because some of your colleagues are not on this side. What happened? Because they said some of you sold out to the Atiku, David Mark, and Aregbesola. How much were you paid to do this?
I think what really happened is everybody we are all being carried along right from the inception of this.
So by Nwosu.
By Nwosu. Even despite that we have a case, even cases against him. After we know those who are coming to this coalition, I now call all the chairmen that this is an opportunity for us, for our party. If it is the interest of the party we are fighting for to grow, if this type of people are coming. And we all sit down. We all sat down and we discussed. And we need to follow these people. We have two cases against them. One is Supreme Court. One, personally, I instituted against the party and INEC. So when they explain everything like that, we decided...
You withdraw the matter?
Withdraw the matter.
At what point did the coalition come into the party? Where did they meet? Who did they consult? At what point did you agree as a party? Because the party is at the national and at the state level.
It was after the ADR.
By INEC?
By INEC. Call us together.
Where did this meeting happen, the ADR?
The ADR started from 2022.
So it wasn't now?
It wasn't now.
So there's a process?
Yeah, there's a processing before we conclude.
So you didn't answer my question, sir.
Yeah.
How much were you paid to some?
We are not paying anything.
Because that's the allegation that you were being paid to...
No.
For the hijack of the party.
Hijacking of the party as how?
So the party was not hijacked?
It was not hijacked.
Are you aligning with Mr. Kachiku, or you're not longer in talking terms?
We are in talking terms. But when he insisted that he doesn't want these people to come, and I told him I want a larger ADC, he came to the party. If he started talking that they hijacked the party, he came when he wanted to contest for president. He came just 2 months.
Into the party? Into the
party, and we gave him ticket. Why would other not be saying that he came to hijack the party?
All right. Let's conclude this. Like Mr. Abdullahi, are you able to resolve this amicably? For the sake of...
Honestly, I still don't see anything that needs to be resolved. You know, all these, with due respect, are media creation. It's good for television, for people to be calling press conferences and be saying all that they are saying. But in reality, there is nothing to reconcile. There is absolutely nothing on ground.
So you're not reaching out to him?
No, not at all.
All right.
And Thank you so much. They are still our chairman. Nobody...
All right. As displace them.
No, nobody.
I must thank you, sir.
So before we go, I think it's good to understand the fact that Dumobi Kachuku is not a member of our party. He doesn't represent the party, and he has no right to talk on behalf of ADC.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Malam Abdullah, always a pleasure having you come around to clarify these issues.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We take a break, everyone. And when we return, we'll put a spotlight on the governance of Rivers State under the watch of the administrator there and the heavily worded open letter written by some Rivers elders. Mr. Tonya Cole will be joining in next on the program. We'll be right back. And welcome back. In Rivers State, where tension is building gradually, as key political and civic stakeholders have now raised alarm over what they now call an outright violation of Nigeria's constitution and a grave threat to democracy. At the center of the controversy is the planned local government election scheduled for the 30th of August, which critics say is being orchestrated by the sole administrator without legal mandate or legitimacy. In a strongly worded petition addressed to President Bola Tinubu, 22 prominent figures from Rivers State, including Mr. Atedo Peterside, former Governor Celestine Omehia, Senator Lee member, are warning that there is currently no lawfully constituted Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RCEC, making the planned elections not just illegal, but dangerous to the fabric of Nigeria's federalism. According to the group, the so-called Electoral Commission failed to issue the constitutionally required 90-day notice, has bypassed legislative oversight, and is pushing ahead with polls despite pending court cases at the Federal High Court and the Supreme Court challenging the legality of the sole administrator's role. The stakeholders say this process mirrors the procedural irregularities that got the 2024 elections annulled and caution that Rivers State is slipping into a constitutional crisis. They are now calling on the presidency, judiciary, civil society, and international observers to intervene urgently to prevent what they call an existential assault on democracy in the oil-rich state. Let's speak now with one of the signatories to that open letter to President Bola Tinubu, Mr. Toyin Cole, a founder of Sowore Energy and the 2023 governorship candidate of the APC in Rivers State, is live with us from our Lagos studio. It's a pleasure having you join us tonight on the program. And I'm sure that it's with a heavy heart that some of you who have called yourself elders and stakeholders in Rivers State have written this letter. But what gives you more fear, or the greatest fear, about all of what is going on in your state?
Well, Sean, always a pleasure to be with you. To answer your question, Rivers State always seems to be in the headlines for the wrong reasons. I've said this over and over again. And one of the things that concern me the most is that if we cannot get governance correct in Rivers State, and we continue to use Rivers State as an experiment of any type of politics, we don't know which party is in existence in Rivers State. Is it PDP? Is it APC? Is it a mixture of both? You know, everything just seems wrong. And so one of the things that we are very, very concerned about is that we must establish good governance and the rule of law in Rivers State for anything to begin to work.
There are those who say that there are debates about the decision of the president in the first place to declare a state of emergency and impose that emergency or temporary measures to govern the state. Which there are those who also believe that if the president had not taken that decision, the state may have been thrown into governance abyss and things may have gone south in the state. But you look at all what has happened, and the position of the law has been cited by some of you signatories to that open letter. Under what circumstances do you think the administrator would have conducted a local government election?
You know, and that's where the challenge is. And I think right from the beginning, the issue of whether the Constitution was flouted in bringing a sole administrator has always been the case. But in my opinion, regardless of whether that was right or wrong, that was being tested in the judiciary. And we're waiting for the judiciary to come out and make a very strong position about whether it was constitutional or not. And that process was going on. Because that process is on, and it is such a fundamental issue, it makes it very untenable, and I think very, very careless, to conduct things like local government elections under that canopy. That's where the main challenge is. And then there are a series of others, including the mandatory 90-day notice period, which has not been given. You know, there are just so many things that are wrong with this particular process, and that's why my signature is on it.
What would you suggest as a way forward? Because it does look like there are a plethora of cases that have been cited in that open letter. In that open letter, there are cases cited: Adewumi versus Plastics and Okafor versus Ume. the Supreme Court case is being also cited as though there is a quagmire, there is a stalemate, there is nowhere to go. What would be the suggestion of the elder statesmen and women who had written this letter? What is the intervention you're seeking from the president? Because it does look like you're asking the president, ultimately, the one that will be able to get the state out of this logjam.
Sure, that's such an excellent question. And the way I would answer this is that, first, the term of the sole administrator, 6 months, is coming to an end. I mean, by next month, it's done. What I would have advised would be allow that term to elapse. Because in the first instance, you have made peace between the governor, Sim Fubara, and the protagonist, Nyesom Wike. So there's peace there. That's where all the crisis was coming from. So let's assume in the very much publicized peace arrangement a month or so ago that has been agreed, which should mean that if that peace is real, then the state governor will be coming back to office in a month's time, at which point you can then begin to conduct local government elections under under an elected legitimate government, and then we move on. Nobody will have this kind of case to speak about. So why not wait the 1 month? If the peace is real, and the whole reason for this state of emergency was that there was this intractable commotion between the former governor and the present governor, which we are made to understand has been resolved, then why not wait? I can't understand why this rush for a local government election a month before the sole administrator's term elapses, unless there's something untoward. Maybe they want to extend the term for another 6 months. Who knows? You know, things just don't add up.
So you suspect something could be in the offing, isn't it?
Yeah, something could be in the offing. So if there's such a rush for local government elections now, when the term of the sole administrator is about to elapse, then it raises questions. It just puts everybody in an uncomfortable situation. What is going on? Does it mean that the state governor, Sim Fubara, is not going to come back? Does it mean that there is an extension? Does it mean that they don't trust him at all? Remember, he conducted local government elections before, and it was under similar circumstances, and the Supreme Court nullified it completely. Are they saying that as a state governor who is due to come back, they do not trust him to conduct legitimate local government elections, and so they want to impose or ensure that this process is finished before they hand over to him? Something is wrong. Something is off, and I don't trust this process.
As a student of literature and one who also did a bit of literary aesthetics, looking at the language of the text which you're signatory to, there seems to be some kind of frustration that's come in the tone in which the stakeholders wrote to the president. And perhaps the unity that has now emerged from these very well-respected Rivers sons and daughters, one would have imagined that this had come earlier, when before all of this thing escalated into a state that it does now look like it is out of the hands of the elder statesmen who should have been consulted when there is a crisis in the state. So why is this coming now? Why didn't this convergence happen when the crisis, and when everybody, and I remember my interview with you on 2 occasions. I had asked you, and you've listed people on the some of the signatories. You said these are the people that could make peace happen in Rivers State.
Absolutely. Sure. Again, another great question. I would like to remind you that the Rivers State elders, a couple of them already on this list, plus the new ones that have joined, have issued severally communiques and letters to the president and also to Rivers State at various stages of this conflict on solutions that they believe need to be done. But for whatever reason, nobody took the statements and the concerns seriously until this point. We're now at a place where everybody is seeing that there is something wrong with what is going on. And maybe now voices of the elders will begin to be respected. You asked what concerns us as elders of Rivers State, and I'll tell you one thing that concerns us. The main aspect of it is this ability to do whatever you like. We call it impunity, irrespective of what the judiciary says. And then after it is done, then everybody goes to court to go and see whether or not my impunity will stand or not. And I think it's very dangerous to continually test the judiciary by carrying out whatever you like, irrespective of past cases, past judgments, what the Supreme Court has said, what the law says. Just, there's so much impunity. You know, Sowore, it shocks me.
Let's take a quick break, Mr. Cole. And we come back to your dear state has become perhaps Nigeria's most politically volatile state. We'll be right back, everyone.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Unmatched security, timeless elegance, looking for doors that offer ultimate protection without compromising on style? Sowore Doors presents Pivot Doors, crafted for luxury and designed for durability. Our exclusive heavy-duty security doors are built to withstand the toughest threats, giving you total peace of mind. Strength, style, and security all in one. Upgrade your home today. Call us now or visit our showroom. Sowore Doors, securing your world.
Nigeria coat of arms, a pride of our nation, the symbol of our sovereignty. The coat of arms is more than just a design. It's the seal of government and the authority of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Nigeria coat of arms is restricted to serving government officials and ministries, departments, and agencies. It must not be used by any individual or group outside the government circle. It must never be used on souvenirs or disposable items. Whether on official stationaries, government buildings, or foreign missions, the coat of arms stands as a permanent emblem of Nigeria's dignity and power. Respect the symbol, protect the authority, honor the nation. This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Our closing moments now with Mr. Tonya Cole, the founder of Sahara Energy and the governorship candidate of the APC in the 2023 elections. By the way, Mr. Cole, are you still in the APC?
That's the perennial question all the time. I am still in the APC.
Your friend, Rotimi Amechi, is gone to the ADC. So by association, there are those who are saying maybe you are now with your friend Rotimi Amechi in the ADC. D, and I'm emphasizing those middle letters, D and the P. Which one do you belong now? Are you considering the D other than the P?
I'm in the APC for now. I'm in the APC.
Would you be running for governorship in 2027?
I most definitely will be running for governorship in 2027.
What do you think perhaps will be your major reason to do that again? That will be the third time.
Yeah, I think everybody has seen what is needed in Rivers State in terms of the kind of alternative to what we have always seen. And Rivers State continues to be in this position where everybody calls for, they keep asking, what is going on? There are better ways of running a state. And I think it's about time that we put Rivers State where it needs to be. Rivers State should not be in the mess it is right now. And I believe that, I believe that we have what it takes to just make Rivers State correct.
If Rotimi Amaechi is in the ADC, and he said a lot of things about how the government of the day is running the affairs of the state and how the party is in the shape the party is right now. Morally speaking, what do you make of your friend's decision? Has he consulted you to come over?
No. You know, one of the things that I've always respected about myself and my friendships that I have across board, regardless of what political leaning it is that everybody respects the decisions that they have. We're all individuals, and we're political individuals that have leanings that are both personal and communal. Now, I've always said that Rotimi Amaechi has the absolute right to run where he wants to run, do what he wants to do, and lead as he wants to lead. He brought me into politics, and that's an undisputable fact. Nobody can change that. But we also have a right to choose our path, to choose where we want to go, how we want to run, where we want to associate, and all of that. And I believe at this point in time that running for the governor of Rivers State in the way and manner with which we guarantee that we stop the rot is what is important. He's running for president, I'm running for governor. The path that we take to achieve that, each individual will take the path best noted, best able to achieve that vision for themselves.
So you and Minister Wike are going to be working together, is that right?
No, I didn't say that. I have no idea. I've never spoken to Wike about governorship. We are going to chart our course. I have no idea how that course is going to evolve. But no, I've never sat with Wike to discuss anything regarding Rivers State government or Rivers State governance. And no, I'm charting my course.
So who is now the leader of the APC in Rivers now, since Amaechi is gone?
You know, and that's an open question. As gubernatorial candidate in Rivers State, I remain the leader of APC in Rivers State. Now, that depends on what the president says, because we don't know where Wike is. I have no idea whether he's in PDP, whether he's in APC, whether he's in PDP, APC. There's that faction of it. But then there is an APC in Rivers State that continues to be legitimate, of which I lead, and I continue to lead that APC faction in Rivers State. And we'll continue doing that.
The likes of Mr. Jack Rich, Tony Okocha, I don't know how you're going to be able to coalesce with these people in charting a way forward for your party. But finally, have you spoken with the president about the state of affairs in your state? Have you had the opportunity of discussing it with President Bola Tinubu?
Not yet, but the time will come. I suspect that one of the things that the president is deeply concerned about is Rivers State and how it's going to evolve. And I believe that at the right time, the president is going to have a key stakeholders meeting with the different leaders in Rivers State. Right now, he hasn't done that because I don't think that he believes that the time is right. But I know for a certainty that is coming, and we will sit down to discuss.
Thank you so much, my friend, Mr. Tony Okul. I appreciate your time tonight on the program. Founder, Sowore NIG, and governorship candidate of the APC in the 2023 election in Rivers State. Thanks so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sharon.
We've got some plans for you tomorrow, everyone, wherever you may be watching. Meet me at 7 p.m. right on this program and find out what that is. It's another crisis brewing in another state in Nigeria. This one is a big one. I don't know who is going to resolve that matter. But we'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm Sean Kimali. God bless Nigeria.
For 9 electrifying seasons, the eye never blinked. Because in this house, the cameras never miss. Season after season of extraordinary moments. Bold game plans, power moves that shook the house, and romance that kept hearts guessing. Even then, you've seen nothing yet. This BB9 Jazz Season 10. No filters, no scripts, no holding back. Because it's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, 10 times the game.